Welcome to Around the Reel with your hosts, Aaron Carlson, Charles Lawson, and Samantha Hanna. Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Bring 'em in, bring 'em in. Man, we haven't had like a lot of people like this in a long time. That's what's fun.
Joe, what's up?
What is happening?
Oh, okay, so they're both.
What is up?
So there's two right there. So I don't think we need the third invite.
This is everybody.
This is everybody.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah.
Look at that.
All right.
We live together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you killed.
Congratulations.
What's
Or
going
I'm
on?
sorry, I haven't met you guys yet.
It's fine. We're married. It's the whole thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Then congratulations it
That
is.
works out well.
Thank you. We're doing that.
They're living in, I do not live with them, but
Congratulations.
You're very isolated over
much.
there.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
It's awesome to have you guys on the show
Yeah.
today.
Thanks for having us.
Hell yeah, man! Thank you guys
For sure.
very, very much. It's nice for you to join us here
Yes,
on Around the
thank you.
Reel
Yes,
this
join-
evening.
join together.
Yeah,
I hope you guys know what you got yourselves into.
they have no fucking idea.
We don't.
This is so fun for us. When
Oh, this is
people
even
say
better.
that, we love it.
This is amazing. I always explained having three hosts for a show like talking to a paranoid schizophrenic. So now we have three paranoid schizophrenics
Right?
on the show. So we're going to deal with 9 personalities along with our 3 personalities, and we're going to have a fucking ball.
Sam and I on the way here we always chat, getting ready for the show, getting in the groove, the vibe. You got to feel it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking, and it's always fun to hear how when we're setting up shows with people, they always want to know what do you need from
What
me?
are we gonna talk about?
What are we going to talk about?
They
And
wanna
we're always
know.
the same answer. We have no fucking idea.
We don't know. We're just gonna talk like we're just gonna be friends. All of a sudden, like we're just gonna put you in, and then we're friends.
Yeah, we're going to learn
Bye, puppy.
with the audience who you are and what the hell you guys do. That's what
Yeah.
we do here on the radio.
Yes, it is
Right?
what we do.
Right? And then God knows what else we talk about. It's like sometimes I talk about my penis. I do. I love it.
Does, but nobody needs
Sometimes he talks
that.
about sex with his penis. Sam's not always involved.
No, she's not. And then sometimes we talk about Chuck's balls. We do that.
That's true. I like to bounce on my balls.
Yep. And then Sam gets embarrassed like she is right now.
Yeah.
And then we just roll with it like water, like Bruce Lee said, water.
We
Yep.
roll, we flow.
That's
we
right.
ebb and we flow.
That's right.
Is the dog gonna keep licking you before it bites your face off, or is this something should
Oh,
we,
no,
should
it's
we
a
call the
sweet
authorities?
That's how he bites.
This
That's how he bites the
love.
face off. It's a work in progress. He just licks your face off over the
He's gonna
course of
slowly lick it off.
however much time he's got left.
But he's got like an underbite, so he's got like a natural like curled lip. So he's like,
No puppies.
Yep.
cute.
Yep.
We like to think he's smiling.
that's it, sure.
Oh,
But
yeah. Super
He's
cool.
like, no, I just got shit in my teeth.
Yep. This will be great if it's a podcast. This type of content is perfect for
It is
Well,
absolutely.
you're gonna be-
We
you guys are
love-
gonna be just-
We love, yeah.
You're
We
just
love
joining
puppy
us. There's the
faces.
dog.
Yeah.
That's right.
The dog's name is Sam.
Dog's name is Sam.
Yes.
Oh yeah, good name.
It is a great name for a dog.
Great.
Sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for joining us
Yes, thank
today
you.
on our show.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you. Let's just get into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
which one do you want to start
Well,
with?
what we're
Eeny,
gonna
meeny, miny, or
what
mo?
we're gonna do is we're gonna allow them to introduce themselves.
Yes.
Okay,
Tell them what they do, and then we go from there.
we're gonna tell them what they do.
Well, we should tell them what to do, but I don't do that anymore because I'm brown. I don't have any rights.
Well, no, well, you are a director, so you are naturally always telling.
And
them
no
what
one
to
listens
Guys.
to me. No, sorry. Okay, here we go.
do. Sam brought the whip today. She's just gonna be like,
Wapch.
And we
Bring 'em
usually
back.
waste a good 5
Bring
to
'em
10
back.
minutes in the beginning
Yeah,
of the
we
show
do.
before
we
we get
always
into
do
it. I
this.
don't know
We
why.
just waste a
That's
bunch
what
of
we
time for no reason.
do. It's fun.
Gotta get warmed up. Gotta get warmed
You know
up.
what I
It's all
mean?
good.
We got to get in
Pretty
there.
much.
And this will be all in the show.
Yeah.
Well,
usually it's an
I would-
embarrassing story about me, but
Have we got an air horn sound or
Yeah,
what?
I
I
think
know.
you kick it off because this whole thing is because of you.
I can do what?
Kick it off because this whole thing's because of
This
you.
is all your
the thing
fault.
is because of you.
Unless
so
you need an
start.
icebreaker, because we could always get Sam to tell an embarrassing story, and then we can move on from there.
Lord knows I have a million.
Sure.
Oh, good,
Oh, you
Sam.
want to start? Okay.
Let's get an embarrassing story, Sam.
All right.
Embarrassing stories from Sam.
Well, we'll
Yes,
just,
and
there's one every day, and today is I went to the car wash with my car. It was really dirty, and I thought, oh, I need to clean it. And usually I wash my own car, but today I was like, I don't have time, so I'm gonna go through the car wash.
remember when it used to be $6?
It's 12 now.
I know.
But anyway, so I went through the car wash, and I've only been one other time. So I am officially a car wash
Virgin.
idiot.
Oh, okay.
No, it's bad. It's worse than
She's worse than a virgin. She's an idiot.
Okay, so you know how you get in the car wash and you put in neutral, right? You know,
Yes.
and you
Okay,
float.
so this is an automated. This isn't a do-it-yourself car wash.
Yeah, and I've been maybe one other time.
All right, so you get into the things
Yeah.
that the car
The
pushes.
So now you put it in neutral, right?
Right.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're sailing along. Then it comes like this big red light. So I'm like, okay, brake, right? That's what I do. I brake. I don't know, but now what do I do? So the person behind me is like, I could see her hands flailing and she's yelling. I can't hear her yelling, but I could tell she's yelling. And I'm looking in my rearview just going, I'm sorry. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what I'm doing.
You hit the brakes.
You're in the middle of the car wash and you hit your brakes.
You're supposed to be in neutral.
Okay, literally, guys, it was a red light. It means
You stopped at a red light.
Okay, you know what? It means red lights mean stop. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not the brightest Korean in the freaking box. Okay.
It sounds like you got into a road rage situation. At the car wash.
Just about. I think I figured it out right in time. And I got out of there right before she killed me because she was so mad. I think she thought she was gonna hit me, and she probably would have if I wouldn't have
Taking your foot off the fucking brake?
Okay, it was guys. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing. So that's my embarrassing moment of the day.
Embarrassing moment of the day.
Super humiliating.
It's a good one. It's a good story.
It's a good one. So from now on, I'm going to continue to
every day.
wash my hair.
Well,
This happens every day. Yes.
There's the icebreaker.
Something happens every day.
I
Something
bet
like
the
this.
other dudes have something weird and embarrassing happening every day, but I bet you're just more willing to share.
No, that's not true.
You know what?
Not at
I
all.
like the
I've
way
been
you
asked to
think,
stop
Sarah.
Yeah, we have asked Chuff to stop sharing. I will tell you anything, but nothing embarrassing happens to me because I don't get embarrassed. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Sarah,
I
you're
really
so
don't.
right. You're so right.
I really don't care though. You know, being embarrassed means that you have something to be embarrassed about.
Right.
Like if it's in your head that you don't care, there's nothing to be embarrassed.
Like for Sam, in your instance, you're like, oh my gosh, that person behand me was so mad.
Yeah,
You
I
were-
could give a shit. I could give a shit. So
I would have been mad too because I'm sitting there with my brake on and she's
So
coming
okay, I'll
through
share.
the
I'll
car.
share. I'll share.
Oh, share.
Okay,
Who's
so
that?
today I had to listen to my friend share an embarrassing moment on the show with some brand new guests that we've never met before, and it made me feel a little awkward. That was my embarrassing moment. For the day.
I'm glad I could make you feel embarrassed.
And
Yeah.
so
I spread it
embarrassing.
around. I spread
So
it all.
embarrassing.
I spread it. I spread that all around.
And welcome to Around.
Welcome to Around the
Welcome to
Room.
Around the Room.
All right, guys.
We have been dipped in stand-up comedy for too long to sense awkwardness anymore.
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
good.
That's a beautiful
good
thing,
thing.
and I
That
love
is
it.
a beautiful
Good point.
thing.
And that's the
Good
stuff we got to talk about here. So
Yes.
please
Yep.
introduce yourselves, you guys. Go ahead, take the mics, tell us who you are, and let's roll.
My name's Isaac Novak. I'm one of the founders of the Upper Left Comedy Festival. I've been doing stand-up comedy in and around the Pacific Northwest since 2012 is when I started, with a couple of breaks to hide inside during COVID.
Very nice. Okay.
Sarah?
My name's Sarah Crowe. I'm also a founder and producer of the Comedy Festival. I am not a comedian, and I'm not even sure if I like jokes. Just kidding. I like jokes. But I'm married to Isaac, so comedy adjacent for the last 10 years, and excited about building this comedy festival for the comedians.
Awesome.
Awesome.
My
All
name
right.
is CB Shamah. I am one of the co-founders of Upper Left Comedy Fest. I am not a comedian, but I have been known to make funny things from time to time. And
So
we're
are
really glad
you-
to be here.
Are you all filmmakers?
CB and I are filmmakers.
Okay. So
Okay.
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 A couple of us are filmmakers, yes.
All right.
All right. Cool.
So we've got some creative motherfuckers in our
We got
lobby
some
here.
creative-
And apparently
Yeah.
only one funny one.
Well, you know what's cool, but they're all kind of funny already. I can tell they all got a sense of humor. That's great.
Yeah.
And in fact, okay, so let's just get it out there in the open right now. So the Upper Left Comedy Festival, is that what you guys are doing?
Yes, sir.
Tell us
It's our
a little.
second year.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that and what and why you're doing that and why we're gonna be like excited to go to this comedy festival. What's going on?
Well, we started this comedy festival. There's a lot of comedy in and around Seattle. There's tons of independent shows. There's a bunch of clubs. There's a new one opening up next weekend, and there's a lot of introverted, anxiety-ridden, tortured people, and those are
It brings
comedy
out the
fans.
best.
And we are, and it's our calling to link these people together.
Okay.
The tons of very talented stand-up comedy producers and comics, and the fans that we know are out there. There's been. I think this started with CB actually. I think this whole thing was your idea actually. You
We
came
just
to me years ago and was like, "Why isn't there a stand-up comedy festival in Seattle?" And my answer is like everybody who's a comic in Seattle, I was waiting for someone else to do it.
Right. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of that in Washington State.
Well, I mean, in general, people are always
Someone will
waiting.
do it.
Yeah, someone's got to
Yeah.
take the reins and do it, and it's those that just grab onto something and go, "Fuck it, let's go."
Yeah.
They're the innovators. They're the ones that make stuff happen. So CB, you got this thing rolling. So, why did you feel passionate about it?
Well, I love comedy. I love to laugh. I mean, who doesn't love to laugh, right?
Right.
And I had these folks like talking to. I mean, I've known Sarah for a really long time at this point, and I know that she was like a fucking let's just get it done kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Isaac was in the scene and doing the work, and it just kind of all came together. Bridgetown, we talked a lot about Bridgetown in Portland. Was kind of like the shit for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know when did Bridgetown go down?
I think 2018 or 2019, something around that was the last year.
Right. So then we just it kind of opened up for us a little bit, right? There wasn't that huge, massive, amazing thing happening again, and so we just kind of came together and decided to do it.
So Bridgetown is the Bridgetown Comedy Festival they did in Portland for a long time.
Right.
Mhm.
And a
It
lot of the comedy
was
stuff
Yep.
is down
Awesome.
there.
It was such a cool festival. And I used to go down when I started doing comedy, I'd go down there and volunteer just so that I could, I didn't have any money, so I could go see all these amazing comics and everything for free.
Yeah.
And while I was doing that, I was also in the back of my mind, like it was just a crash course of how to produce a comedy festival.
Okay.
And so I just soaked all that stuff up like a sponge. And so we were kind of ready to go when this whole thing started.
That's badass, buddy.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And yes, Seattle needs something like that, especially. I know that a lot of the comedy stuff is from Portland. I mean, we've had some Portland comedians on our show.
Yeah, we
before.
have Nicholas Mezzanato and
Yeah,
these guys came
and-
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody
Cody
Parr.
Parr.
Cody Parr,
I
yeah.
almost said Parks. I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah, Cody Parr.
Yeah, so they came up and did our show. But yeah, the comedy scene is much down there, and I feel like it is needed up here. Like we are from Tacoma or around there.
Ish.
In the area.
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
And
Tacoma's
we have
great.
Tacoma Comedy Club. I work right next door to it. Wait, no, I do work at Tacoma Comedy Club, actually.
Because you work for the state.
I work for the state. Anyway, continue, Sam.
No, there's a good little group around Tacoma and everything, but I feel like all the action, I feel like you guys are awesome for bringing a big deal to Seattle with comedy.
Yeah.
Because that is everyone needs comedy.
Thanks.
Everybody needs comedy. You have to.
Yeah.
If you can't laugh at yourself, then what's it for? What's the point?
That's why Sam tells her stories.
Yeah, because I laugh at myself on a daily.
Full circle.
Like
Full circle.
Yeah.
Yes,
and that's,
exactly.
well, let's talk about that for a minute. I think that's an interesting thing to talk about because we've been saying it a lot lately. It's not that deep. Things have gotten so crazy in the comedic world, especially, with the things going on politically or what people's views are and what you can say and you can't say. You know, and I'm always the kind of like, I'm not on one side or the other really. I'm kind of like whatever makes sense, the kind of guy. You know what I mean?
We're all so old and we understand a joke's a joke. We grew up with Pryor and everybody else.
Correct, right? So it bothers me when I see comedians getting hammered for things that they're saying when it's fucking funny. You know, I mean, they're just fucking around and
They're
joking.
just messing around. It's
Yeah.
a joke is a joke.
You
Sarah,
know-
Sarah, it's okay. We can tell this in a sensitive area.
I think.
No, say it.
Please
say
express
it.
yourself.
No,
I need to know.
I will. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
no. She's like, don't worry about it.
I think
love
that
it.
there's a line,
Yeah.
and there's it's really important. Like one of the things that we do like care about is having a safe space to tell jokes. And I think that we talk a lot about like punching down and like, is it your story to tell? And I think that there is a lot of nuances with that. And we're not making hard rules or telling the comedians what they can and can't tell jokes about, but we want to have a really great environment for our guests, for our comedians, and it's important. I think there was a time when you could joke about anything, and I'm not even sure it was funny then. I just think that people thought it was okay to laugh at that stuff.
Well,
Right.
let me ask you. Well, go ahead, Sam. You go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I agree with you. And it's making people, comedians especially, get creative with what they're telling jokes about. Because, it doesn't always have to be making fun of someone. Sometimes that isn't funny. And sometimes that's just making people feel bad, or it's making somebody feel bad. And that's not cool, even if people are laughing at it. If the majority are laughing at it, just because you're making somebody feel bad. So I think in the comedy world, it's okay for the society, I guess, to make people think about that and want to like be more creative with their comedic, whatever they're doing or their jokes that they're saying. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. That's growing as a people and a society. Like that's getting better, and we can do better.
I would agree with you to a point. But my philosophy is that, it seems to be in the way America does it, and this is just my opinion. We pick and choose what's acceptable and what's not when we want it. And I say that because comedy was a certain way for a very long time, and now it's become kind of like you need to watch your mouth, right? But it's only comedy. It's not movies. I mean, movies are getting more violent, more brutal, and everything
More
else,
nasty.
and no one is saying shit about that. So why is it so selective? That's my problem.
I mean, I don't think it's selective. I think it's different, kind of different aspects of our culture and of pop culture and of, entertainment. What you see in Hollywood, I mean, there's definitely lots of violence. I don't know if it's more violent. The most violent was probably like the late 90s when all those Tarantino movies was coming out. But the most like, there's so much more. There's a real craving in content and in entertainment for different voices. Comedy it's just been a bunch of dudes for so long. And a lot of those guys were really, really great. Like Pryor was great. Lenny Bruce was great.
George Carlin
Now,
was great.
the edge, if you're looking for like the edge, it's not about what you can say. Because you can say anything. You're not going to get arrested.
Right.
You're not going to get
Right.
cited. Like those battles have already been fought by those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Now the edge is who are we listening to?
Right.
Who else are we bringing into the circle, and what kind of stories are we telling?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily, for me, it's not necessarily about like how blue can you be or how offensive you can be. Like what's the context of all that? Whose voices are we listening to?
Right.
And I'm more excited when I go to a comedy show. The more different types of outlooks that are in the lineup, the better. The worst thing for me is that if I go to a comedy show and it's just a bunch of guys who look like me. And holy shit, are there a lot of those guys?
There's still a lot of those for sure. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
It's like going out on $2 drink nights. A whole bunch of middle-aged white guys. It's like, oh, fucking great.
Yeah,
I came out here for entertainment, not Charlottesville.
it's an interesting thing to talk about
it
because
is.
there's comedians that have been out there in the world, and I've been watching comedy since the 70s.
Sure.
And I was a huge fan of Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, no problem. But I also love Bill Cosby before he was a monster, right?
Right.
And he wasn't dirty, and he made me laugh harder than any of them did. Bill Cosby himself is a hilarious stand-up. That is one of the best. But that was his talent. That was his gift. You know, Pryor had a different gift. Carlin had a different gift. So let me ask you guys this. So this is a tough question. So you draw a line. Do you feel like that you're missing out on certain content then and certain audiences that you could reach based off of your own personal beliefs?
Maybe, but like,
Well, do you feel censored?
No.
As far
No, not at
all we can do, and this isn't just us. This also goes for Alyssa Yeoman and Aaron Engel and Kelsey Carberry, who are other producers,
Yeah,
as well as all the people we helped like judge our submission tapes. All we can do is build a festival based on our own taste and what we think is or isn't funny.
Got it. Okay.
So that's kind of what we've done. And so the audience, you know, and spreading that around and having different judges and people to help us kind of like widen the scope of what we're looking for.
You want to make it enjoyable for everyone. It's basically
Yeah. And you know,
But at the end of the day, it's a subjective art form. And so
you're right. And so is everything.
Yeah.
I totally agree. You know, when we make movies, we make the movies we want to make. You know, you've got a comedy show that you want to make. I totally get that. So that's a great point. And that's thank you for that. I mean, that's a big deal. You know, you stand up for your art form and what you're trying to create. This is an art form for you guys. I try to be real on the show and ask real questions that people might want to hear and understand because
He said it was a hard question. He didn't have a hard time
No, he
answering
answered
it.
the shit out of that. He didn't give a
But I would
fuck.
also say that it's not just that it's subjective. I think the whole point is that we have like a very diverse group of individuals that have different backgrounds, different ethnicity, different points of perspectives.
as judges and as people inside the organization of the festival.
And that's to make sure that we have enough different point of views so that we are, you know, certainly like what is funny is subjective, but at the same time, we're pulling it from such a
diverse group,
a different group of people that we're making sure that we're taking into account lots of different points of views, and we don't always agree. And I wouldn't say that we're making comedy for us. I think we're making comedy for we're creating this space, one, to give the comedians an environment to help harbor like the community here in Seattle. It's never been done before. We asked many times, many people, and they're like, I think there might have been. Like, what
has there been a comedy festival in Seattle? We asked all these old heads.
There hasn't.
Like, I think maybe in '85, like nothing.
Yeah.
You were stoned in '85. You don't remember. '85 was all cocaine.
Yeah, I think we also just
I was only 11.
We want to make sure that we're part of the positive change that's needed. And you know, it's not just comedy, it is the films that we make, it's the choices that we make of the films that we like produce and invest and direct in or direct. It's a lot. There are a lot of choices, but it's creating an opportunity to move the needle in the positive direction. And you have to be intentional, because if you're not, if you say who's the funniest, and then you're just going to get one kind of people, and that's not what anyone wants.
Sarah, I love you. I love you. I love that. I love you.
Taste change too, right?
Yes,
Taste change
exactly.
too. Right,
Exactly.
like you know, I've seen Sam Kinison. You know, I used to watch Sam Kinison.
Me too.
Dice
Love
Clay,
guy.
right?
Dice Clay, right?
Right. That shit. I mean, at the time, that shit was hilarious, right? But maybe right now, it goes in waves, right? It changes.
It's different. It's a different society now. It's a different place.
Sure.
And we grow. What we do is we grow. And if you're not willing to, and you get stuck in that place where, you know, that's what happens, is that you kind of fall behind where everyone else is trying to go forward. We're trying to move forward. We're trying to do better than we did before. I always want to be a better person than I was yesterday. So, and I think that if you're growing as a society, that's what you're doing. You're trying to be better than you were the day before. And so that, I think, is beautiful that you guys are right there with that growth of everyone, of all of us, because we've all been through a lot of crap, especially like with COVID and everything, and having to adjust and having to make changes. And there's a lot of changes going on. There's a lot of changes with us, being inclusive of everybody as people, whether it's the race or sex or origin or religion or whatever it is, that we're trying to include everybody as a society. And I think that's great that you guys are right on top of that. That's cool. Congratulations, Mike, for that.
Yeah.
Because,
you.
not everyone is able to do that. And especially in a comedy world, it's a little tricky.
It's hard, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard in the Pacific Northwest, which is it's a real white place compared to other parts of the country.
Yeah, no, it is.
Aaron's like, no shit, right?
Yeah, it is.
No, it is.
You go into an open mic and like, Jesus,
I know.
God, this is who cast
You're
this?
knocking on the mic.
Yo.
Is anyone here?
Yeah. So it's
it's
hard because you
is.
want to be fair to everybody,
Right.
and you want to be fair to all of these people who are coming up. A lot of them are really funny. A lot of these doughy white boys, real super funny.
Right.
But we also have to make a festival that that everyone will enjoy and that is interesting and different. And so it's just a balancing act of making sure, try to be as inclusive and fair to everybody.
Yeah. And making people feel welcome that might not have felt welcome before. I think that's what's great about just SIF in general. I love SIF for that reason, because they are that way. They want to make everyone feel welcome, and that's great. And I think that is Seattle.
It's cool that you guys are talking to us about this, because when I think comedy, I think it's no holds barred. So I'm wide open for comedy. It doesn't matter what style it is. And I've been that way my entire life. So I'm wide open. So if someone's funny, they're funny. Whether they're cussing up a storm, saying every N-word they got, or they're as clean as a whistle and they're clever. Stephen Wright was clever as fuck.
Right? Yeah.
And he was hilarious. Hilarious. Just clever and talented and brilliant. So I always think of comedy as just a way of expressing yourself. So and everybody has a certain life they've led, and a lot of their material comes from the lives they've led. So if go ahead.
Well, sometimes I'm with you. Sometimes I want to listen to Megadeth.
I feel what you're saying. Yep.
Miles Davis. It's fucking, it's sometimes you want to cultivate the audience of exactly that thing you're talking about, like the dangerous side of comedy, the no holds barred stuff.
But I think
sometimes people just want to be entertained, man.
Yeah. But I also think no holds barred, like really everything you just said. I agree with when you get to the end point of it's their story to tell. Right. So it's a lot of whose story are you telling? Yeah. And then like I know I said it earlier, but are you punching down? Are you talking bad about someone else? Or do you just have it's okay to make the audience uncomfortable. And it's okay.
And we will, by the way. Sure.
Oh, we will too. Don't worry about that.
There's not to be weird shit at this festival.
Yeah, absolutely. We like weird shit.
I hear you.
Censoring the comedians. Creating a safe space means that we're
everybody gets
all inclusive.
We're enlarging whose jokes about their genitals we're listening to.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I get it. I
I
totally get it. Guys. I
My
totally
giant
get it.
white balls and your freckle on your penis are two different styles of jokes.
Right. Right.
And
exactly.
I'm just embarrassed all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. No, it's a very interesting conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
I love this conversation.
No, because I'm completely torn, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I totally respect you guys and sticking with what you want to do in your craft and the art form you want to portray and put out there on the planet. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's all about.
It's beautiful.
But then at the other time, I'm like, but look at Dave Chappelle. He doesn't give a fuck, and he's hilarious and he's brilliant. So I just want the best for anybody doing an art form. But at the same time, I'm like, man, they are making a point, because Bill Cosby was very clean. And he was very popular and very successful. So it's really a family thing you're trying to create, where a lot of people can go and enjoy this without being offended or feel bad. Or like you said, Sarah, getting punched down on.
Yeah.
Totally get it. I totally get it. Wow.
Yeah, we're having
Well,
a hard
and people
Well, I
feeling
didn't expect
attacked.
that.
Dave,
I always had in my
like,
head that comedians
Dave
and people who
Chappelle-
like comedy and
Dave's
stand up.
hilarious.
I'm sorry,
and
I cut you
punched
off.
down on trans people,
Yeah.
and that crossed
Yeah.
the line, in
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion.
Well,
And
th-
so
I just-
that's
for-
where you have to like. That's what we don't want.
Right,
That's
right.
like, so yes, he is hilarious and he tells stories from a unique point of view, and was a big fan. It's that line. It's like a good example of the line that like we don't want to cross.
You guys don't want
Right.
to cross, right?
Right.
Because
And
some people aren't.
also,
Some
like-
people aren't offended by that, Sarah. You know.
Well,
But yeah,
Well,
that's
I think,
true.
anybody who isn't trans probably isn't
Yeah.
offended.
Well, there were trans people that weren't offended by that.
True.
there might be one or two.
Might
I
a
think.
couple of
And see, and that's where I'm like,
They're-
I can't
they're-
say that because I don't know.
I
don't know.
think they're a little thin on the
Right.
ground.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, and
I
that's
don't
the
know.
thing that
I
they're-
don't speak for that.
they're speaking of is that they don't want to put people down, and they don't
Sure.
want to make people feel bad. And I think that that's important for comedy to grow in that way, because
I mean,
it's
as
not.
it
You don't
turns-
have to
as
make
it
people
turns
feel bad.
out, as it turns out, you can still be like dirty and nasty and weird
And not
all
offend people?
shit without being mean.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
and I'll say this too, like it's creating an opportunity to tell different stories. Like we
Right.
have some comedians that talk about miscarriage and they make it funny. We have comedians that talk about their weight and they're proud of it and they make it funny. We have
Mhm.
comedians that have like disabilities and they make it funny. You know, like it's like giving those we have a stuttering comedian, like literally we do,
Yeah.
and it's like embracing the fact that he's funny, and that's fine.
Being able to make fun of yourself is one thing, but making fun of other people for the sake of comedy is a different thing. And I think that's what you guys are basically trying to steer away from, is that making fun of other people for laughter. Because you're not getting the laughter from the person you're making fun of. And that's the point, is you want everyone to laugh, not just, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, you don't
Yeah.
want to make fun of people to get others to laugh.
They're staying away from hate.
You want to, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good
because
way-
you
that's
don't
a
wanna
really
hate
good
on
way to
people.
put it.
Because you know what?
No, that's
You
a-
don't have to hate on people to be funny. You
I
don't.
think that if you enjoy comedy,
Our
and you
comedians
like to
take that hate and they turn it inward.
laugh, you'll find you're funny if you come. You know, it'll be there if you enjoy
Say
comedy.
that. Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry, Stevie. I didn't hear the whole thing.
I was just gonna say, like, if you enjoy comedy, you'll find you're funny at our festival.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. I just have my own opinion on what I think is funny, and I like the spectrum of it all. So
Yeah.
I
Well-
say my point, and I respect everybody's decision. So I have nothing but respect for
I
you
think that
guys.
you would enjoy the festival.
I'm sure I would.
There'll be a
There's a
spectrum.
lot of-
There's
And-
still be
and
a
we'll expect
spectrum
our
of-
tickets at the
of
door,
what it
'cause, you
is
know.
that you're looking
Yeah,
for.
I absolutely
We have
love
18
comedy.
shows. We
yeah,
have 55 comedians.
55.
that's great.
Yeah,
Wow.
we've got a lot of people
That's
to showcase.
That's so cool.
That's fantastic,
That's
you guys.
great.
So how did you recruit all your comedians and stuff to be a part of the show? I know you started to say you kind of reviewed their stuff, but what's that process like? What'd you do?
Well, there's a submission process, which we started at the beginning of the
Are
year.
you the judges, the three of you? Are you
We're three of the judges.
Okay.
We have a bunch more people.
Okay.
We're
There-
three
there's
of
a-
7.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or 7, 9, something like that. But yeah. So there's just a bunch of videos that come in,
Yeah,
and
we're
yeah,
3 of 9.
We
She's right.
split up groups and we watch them, and then there's like a whole process, and
Okay.
We have a rubric.
yeah.
To give like
That's
and
a great way to put it. Yeah.
we have a rubric and
Sorry, that word makes me laugh every time.
so more than 50% of our comedians are from the submissions.
Okay.
We don't have a hard line on the number, but we do want to include as many as possible. So more than 50%. We have 3 national headliners: Amy Miller, Josh Gondelman, and Baron Vaughn.
Awesome.
And those, we do some broader searches to really get some names. And so we're super happy with those.
So it's submissions, and then there's like people that we want on the festival
Okay.
who we invite.
And then we
Awesome,
also
okay.
just curate from the Pacific Northwest of like all of the working comedians that are doing it and doing it every day, and then we do an invitation. So it's
Okay.
a mix. And we invite people. We have comedians from all over the country, not just our headliners. We have some people coming out, I think, from New York, North Carolina,
Philly.
Wow,
Philly,
very cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Billy up.
all over Washington.
Super cool.
So we get people coming out, highlighting the Pacific Northwest is one of our main points, but we do also curate from around the country to really round out and get that high number of comedians.
Cool. That
How long is your
you
festival?
answered my question.
It is 3 days, May 11th through the 13th.
Okay.
May 11th through the 13th.
Yeah.
In other words, if you're not paying attention, that's going to be, by the time this show is edited and posted, that's going to be
No. We're
It'll be Tuesday. It'll be Friday.
We're-
It'll be out by the 10th. Yeah.
speeding the process.
Yeah,
Right.
we're speeding up the process.
It's
for it.
it's this weekend.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow,
So by the time this
Friday,
posts-
and Saturday, come and
Yeah.
hang out with us.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the fuck you're doing this weekend,
Yeah.
come check out the festival.
Come hang out
There
with
you
us.
go. There you go.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
There
hang
you
out.
go. Yeah.
Um,
No, this will be out in time.
Yeah,
that was the whole goal.
I'll get it done. I'll get it done.
Appreciate it.
You
So-
can do it like it's a review if it's coming out afterwards. Like, so how was the festival?
Oh no!
No, we're
Well,
gonna-
I've devoted myself to get this out before your
Yeah.
festival started. That was
we
the
are
whole-
you.
determined.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Damn it!
I'm
Oh,
so
I'm
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Actually, I'm not sorry.
Oh
'cause
no,
we all
no,
talk all
okay,
the time.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Why are you apologizing?
I don't know. I don't know.
I've had 2 ex-wives. I'm used to it.
Yeah, he is. So okay, so how do you guys start something like this though? I mean, you have a concept, you have an idea, you get all the people there, and you're like, okay, let's do a festival. What the fuck? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Where do you go?
Like,
Yeah.
do you need funding? Do you need funding for this? Do you go and just reach out to places to try to find a venue? What's going on?
So we've been this has been something that we've been journeying up for 5 years. So 2018 is when we had our first set of conversations. 2019 we did the original planning, and we were going to have a festival on May 20th, 2020, and something happened.
Yeah.
So
One of
we
those
did.
things.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And then so we just kind of like held on to it and like kept planning. I mean, so being a filmmaker, you put together things. I've curated my wedding. I've done a lot of live events. I've never done a 3-day event. I have done multiple day events. If you think about film planning, I've done feature films, but not live events. So yeah, we talked to a lot of smart people that have done this before. We have enough experience in all of our fields. And then we also made sure that our producing partners, Alyssa Yellman and Aaron Engel, more than half of us were comedians, and we're like, what kind of festival do you want? And we spent a lot of time thinking about like daytime events and industry and like what do comedians want out of festivals? So it's like it's half for the I don't know what percentage, but part of it's for the comedians and like what's gonna have a draw over time to get people to want to come to the Pacific Northwest for this. And then the other part is, how do we sell tickets? And I think we're still figuring that part out. Seattle's very nuanced. They're a maybe town, so publishing this on a Wednesday before the event is probably perfect because people are like, what am I doing tomorrow? Great,
Yeah, nobody plans shit. They just are on a whim. Yeah, I get it.
And what? And tell me, Sarah, what are they doing tomorrow, and where are they going?
Upper Left Comedy Festival. We're in Belltown neighborhood this year.
Okay.
We are in Hereafter at the Crocodile, the Rendezvous, and Saturday we'll also be at the Rabbit Box.
Formerly the Can in Pike Place Market.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
If people want to
That's
show up and
important.
come to the show, how do they get the tickets?
You can get the tickets at upperleftfest.com/tickets.
That's
Very
great.
good.
And if drunk people
And
show
you
up at the door,
find us on the Facebooks and the socials, and just yell. Go outside and yell at people.
Just
That's
yell, it'll happen. No, that was a great question. And if you're drunk and you just show up at the door, can you get tickets?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
depending on how drunk you are.
Unless they're
So
sold
you
out.
are all
Good call.
inclusive. All inclusive.
But it's okay because if the show you stumble into is sold out, there'll be another one in 30 minutes.
That's right.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
That's what
So
we
you
like to
kick
hear.
everybody out after every show.
Oh man, it's a festival. Yeah, you gotta.
You gotta get them out
Yeah,
of
you
that
got
show.
it.
You can't. Yeah.
Otherwise, the next show is late.
So,
Right.
so you got all your gentle giants to push all these drunk fuckers out. Right?
Yeah. We have
Filter them
18
through.
shows. 18 shows over
Turn and burn.
18.
Turn and burn.
We have a small army of dedicated volunteers.
Yeah,
Very good.
I guess
We're
so.
very assertive
18
and stern.
shows. That's crazy. That's amazing. Very
Yeah.
cool, you guys.
And maybe
Awesome.
like round out the rest of your question is like the first year was crazy. We just did it. Sometimes you just do things and
Right.
Right.
It's
you
Max
had
totally
enough
understand.
mind
It doesn't feel
experience
good,
to
but you
make
did
it
it.
happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then
would-
now we're like we learned some things. We're trying some new things. We're building, and then it makes it a lot easier now. Like you have templates. You're like, oh,
I get it. No, I
I
totally
love
get
templates.
it.
logistical side of things. I have
Templates
I
like
are the
built the
best.
spreadsheet last year.
Spreadsheet,
Going
yeah.
in now.
Yeah.
I would say so. A lot of these comedians already build out their own shows, right? So they have that experience already in there.
Yep.
So it's just about building a bigger show,
I
Yeah.
got
and
you.
hopefully they'll come.
How long are the
Yep.
bits going to be for each comedian that you have scheduled?
The bits? How long are their
They're
sets?
sets,
It
yeah.
They're
varies.
sets, yeah.
Most people are doing like I think between 5 and 10. Headliners
Oh,
are doing
okay.
like 30 minutes.
That's good. Yeah. But you got
Like
so many
short sets?
comedians. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Boy, they gotta have their material ready.
Well, it's a
Well,
challenge.
they're pros. That's what
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's
cool.
awesome.
That's very cool.
No, it's a very cool thing you guys are doing.
Yes, it
that's
is.
fucking dope, man.
Yes, it
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
dude.
man.
I can't even imagine to try to set something like that up. I mean, we're filmmakers. We make movies and shit, but we've been doing
We make
it.
people smile. You make them laugh.
Yeah, it's fun to see people going outside of the box like you guys are, and bringing something innovative into this community up here to try to get that crowd to that festival. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment. I mean,
It is.
If you really think about what you guys are doing, that's a fucking big deal.
It is a big deal.
No matter how many people show up for the fucking thing, I wouldn't judge success by that, because
No.
we always think
Well,
our movies are great, and then we get nobody to watch them.
No one
You
watches
know,
them.
but
No
we
one
still
shows up.
we still finished it though. We did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's what's beautiful about this is that we're already building a community of audience members, and we're building a community of comedians that really value the festival and value what we're doing. And it, I would actually go as far as say at the end of the day, it is about selling tickets because that's what's going to make it possible for us to keep doing this in the future.
True.
And
True.
we're building on our base that like lets Seattle know that this is a comedy town, and it kind of builds on that as well, which is really important.
Mhm.
So Stevie and I have been making films for a really long time, and this is actually
Bless you.
it's something that the return on investment is already showing itself.
Good for you.
Good.
That's good. That's
very
good.
But much like a lot of the films, you
Yeah,
guys know
no,
that goes.
I mean,
Much
we've been
unlike.
Yeah, we've been making movies since, getting our movies out there 2018. We've been making movies for 20 years to learn, right?
Right.
Right.
And finally we're starting to see a return now. But it's
Yeah.
been a good 5 years, and
Yeah.
That's right.
it takes a fucking
And the
minute,
funny thing is,
it takes a minute.
Like you said, it's been a good 5 years, but it's also been a good 5 years.
Yeah, but it's also been a good 20 plus years because I've enjoyed every step of this.
That's true.
And I'm sure you guys have too, trying to learn this and grow and see what you could create and make happen. And I mean, you guys did it. I mean, that's fucking crazy. You're having a show this week, a 3-day festival with 50 plus comedians.
We're doing it.
You guys are doing it.
gonna
You
happen.
know,
We did it, and we're doing it again.
you know what I mean?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
by
Yeah.
our philosophy, which is that it takes people. It takes
Joining together.
join together. That's
Yeah.
what makes it magical.
Yeah,
Honestly, it does. The more people you have involved, and the more people, and the more creatives, and the more minds,
And the collaboration.
the better it is.
It's a
The
collaboration,
better
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, we're also really excited about the neighborhood. I mean, we were stoked to be in Capitol Hill as our inaugural fest, and really just thinking about how we can help revitalize the city and bring people out, and having it in Belltown and just kind of supporting bringing that life back is something that's important to us too.
Yeah.
So if you're someone like me who doesn't go to Seattle very often, and the last time you went to Seattle, you saw something really terrible with your kids on the city bus.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that when you went there.
So if I'm
I know
scared,
exactly what you do.
if
I know
I'm
exactly
scared,
what you do. Don't
what do you do?
bring your kids.
Okay, well, no, but I mean, if I personally am scared to go to Seattle, what would I do?
It's not that bad.
What would you do?
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of Seattle doesn't look very good right now.
I mean,
So if I'm scared, no, this is just personally, and I'm not.
I know you were
close.
traumatized that day. You were.
I was.
She was traumatized.
I was traumatized
Yeah.
about
I think
Seattle.
we partnered with some really awesome venues, and they take security seriously.
Okay, so
if
they
it's a
watch
real
out for
question,
the area.
I think that
like,
it's
okay.
we've thought a lot about who we're partnering with, and I think that we want to be part of the positive change, and we could easily take it somewhere else, but I think that it's important for us to
Keep it here.
the more people that come back to the city and the more life that it brings, then the more comfortable people will be getting out in general.
So I'm safe. If I come, I'm safe, is what you're saying.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's the thing.
Just tell them you're going to our comedy festival.
Okay.
You can drop my name specifically, and they'll be like, "Oh, you love."
Yeah, if you come into our doors, we will take care of you.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
And Sam, let me assure you, in my thousands of trips to Seattle,
Me too, but I'm asking a question that people might want to know.
I've only had 2 experiences, so don't let a poor experience tarnish any opportunity for you to go forward with the opportunity to see something funny this weekend.
So if you're thinking that you might be scared to go to Seattle, don't be.
Nobody's
Go and do it.
Yes,
okay?
don't be
scared.
Everything's
just stop it. Just stop it. You're fine.
Okay,
Just
I got
don't be.
tarnished by someone doing drugs on the sidewalk in front of my kids. That's what
With the needle, right?
Yeah,
They were doing the needle?
yeah.
They were using the needle.
did me in. I was
That's
like,
funny.
It's
that's
everywhere.
too
I was
much
scared
for
of the
me.
guy with the machete screaming on the fucking bus.
I
But
didn't
okay,
see none
whatever
of
bothers
that.
you.
I didn't see that.
It's everywhere, though.
No, but
you
there's
can't
things
avoid that
everywhere,
stuff.
yes.
You have
And
to
so,
fight
Sarah,
through that
thank
shit, you know? I mean, they're fighting through it right now. They're taking a chance, trying to do a show where you can just isolate comedy in a certain way so that you're not drawing a line and offending anybody. That's a fight. You know what I mean? And you guys are taking it on, I think, and that's fucking brilliant. I think it's a great idea. You're making a mark going, hey, we want something positive. That's what we're doing. So the same thing goes to going to Seattle and going through this thing. I mean, you got to stay strong and true to who you are. Sam, you're afraid to go to Seattle.
I am strong and true to who I am. I am
gotta go.
embarrassed. I stay true to that all the
My
time.
mom was in Tacoma, and she's terrified to come here too.
Okay,
Seattle, so don't.
thank
It's
you.
okay.
Okay.
And
It's
see,
okay.
and most
You're
people,
right.
and
Sam,
most
you
people
just
think Tacoma is bad.
Yeah, that's how I feel about
Tacoma's
Yeah,
not
You see what I'm
bad.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tacoma ain't shit. It's easy down there. It's not bad at all.
I've never seen someone shooting up on the sidewalk in Tacoma, though.
Well, they do.
Fuck,
They
I see
do.
somebody shooting up on my fucking couch.
Yeah, they do. You just
Wait,
weren't
what?
there.
You need to kick them the fuck out.
I did. One of my ex-wives.
I think people forget that when they're not there, they think it doesn't happen, But when you witness something, then you know it does. That's
Yeah.
all it was. It happens in Tacoma. It happens everywhere.
Everything.
Okay, I
There's people
know.
shooting up everywhere.
Everything
I know,
happens
but it's
everywhere.
scary.
It's fine.
It's
I
scary.
mean, it's not fine, but it is what it is. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
fine. I'm embarrassed. I said it already. Leave me alone.
Okay, CB, I gotta ask, why do you keep muting your shit? You got a noisy dog in the background, or do you keep farting? I mean, what is going on to where
He's
why you
pooting.
keep muting all
I like to let one rip.
He's Putin.
He likes to
I
let
don't want to
one
embarrass
rip
you. I
there.
don't want to embarrass you guys.
CB.
Well, you wouldn't embarrass me.
Well, I'm already embarrassed, so you're good.
Awesome.
You guys are so much fun.
Yeah, you guys really are, and I love the approach, and I love what you're
Yes.
doing, and I appreciate you being honest about how you feel about what you guys are putting on.
Yeah.
And me, I just ask questions. That's all I try
Yeah.
to do. I keep personal stuff out of it. I know everybody has their own love and passion for what they're doing, And I commend you for that. I think it's badass. So
Yeah.
good for you guys, and I wish you the best.
Thank
Seriously.
you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely,
Thank
you
you,
guys. One more time, please plug the show and where people can see it this weekend.
You can see the Upper Left Comedy Festival this weekend, May 11th through 13th at the Hereafter, the downstairs venue with the crocodile and the alley entrance, all over the Rendezvous up on 2nd Avenue, and at the Rabbit Box Theater, formerly the Can in Pike Place Market.
Badass.
And you can get tickets at upperleftfest.com.
You've been sitting at home watching Netflix comedy specials since 2020. Come check this out the way it's supposed to be experienced, live and in person. It's much better.
Come
Yay.
watch the fucking show.
That was an amazing plug. Like, cheers to you.
Sarah, Isaac, CB, thank you.
Yes, you guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
Thank you
much.
guys so
All right.
much. Good
Thank
seeing you.
you.
Good talking with you.
Good
Yes,
talking with you.
It was amazing.
Do your
Now-
thing, Chuck.
Now, while I try and figure out what exactly the creature was that went walking behind CB in the background, I'll let him figure that out, and he can have his own terrifying experience there personally at home. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Around the Reel. Thank you for hanging out for well, I don't know about you guys, but I had a drink, which is now gone.
Mhm.
So it's either time to go get another one or have some more food.
You drank faster than me.
I know, well,
Jesus.
it's just, it's been a day. Sometimes it's just a day, and you have to get through that day. And when you're done with that day, sometimes you have to let it go. You
Just
can
don't
either
get stuck in
drink
the
it-
car wash.
You can either drink it or you can laugh it away. No matter what, though, somebody's going to be the butt of the joke, and it just matters whose butt you're laughing at. And usually on this show, it's mine, because my ass is the one that makes all the fucking noise. So everybody out there, remember, think hard, because you're thinking anyway, and come check out the show this weekend.
See everybody later.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
For those of you that want to be a guest on Around the Reel, please email Sam at aroundthereal253@gmail.com.
That's aroundthereal253@gmail.com.
Not Messenger. Do not message Aaron on Messenger, because then he has to send you a message that says email Sam at aroundthereal253@gmail.com.
That's aroundthereal253@gmail.com.
How come they can't just message me again?
Because nobody wants to fucking talk to you.
Can anybody reach out? That's an artist, filmmaker, actor?
If you're an artist of any kind, we want to hear from you.
But we are going to vet the crap out of you.
We don't care if you make millions of dollars in Hollywood or if you're just beginning your career in the art industry. We don't care. So everybody that wants to be on Around the Reel, yes, we want you.
That's aroundthereal253@gmail.com.